behind this board is another board, and I've got a pendulum suspended. Here's the pendulum. You can't see anything except whether the pendulum appears on this side of the board or not. And if I release the pendulum, you see that the pendulum does appear on the other side of the board. Now I stop the pendulum for an instant, okay? And when I stop the pendulum, I'm going to put my hand up here. And when I start the pendulum, I'm going to simultaneously drop my hand. And I'm going to let the pendulum swing 4 times. Its amplitude won't change too significantly. When I get to the 4th time, my hand goes up when the pendulum gets to the end of its cycle. And what you're going to do is you're going to stop this video a number of times and take data. And the data simply consists of what's the number on the board here, and I'll explain what that means a little bit later, and what's the did you or did you not observe the pendulum peeking out from the other side of this board. Now I'm going to move this board progressively to the left, so the probability of observing the pendulum is going to increase with each time I move the board. So you're going to have more positive results the further I move the board to the left. Okay, so just as an example, well, no, I'm not going to do an example. I'm just going to start doing this. Again, what you need to do is randomly stop the video every couple of seconds and determine whether you see the pendulum or not. But if my hand is up, you don't count your observation. It's going to be a yes or a no. You have 2 columns, maybe a check mark in the yes column or a check mark in the no column. If my hand's up, you don't record anything. And I'm also going to remove this paper. So if you see this paper here, you don't record anything. But I'm going to start with data now. And of course, if you see me in the way repositioning the board, that's another good indication that you don't include that data. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Okay, so I'm going to remove this, and at the instant I remove this, I'm going to release the pendulum. Okay, so you might or might not have seen the pendulum in there, but now I'm going to release it again. Okay, now I'm going to get in the way, and I'm going to move this board over a little bit, and I'm going to make a measurement. Sorry, you have to view while I'm doing this, but making sure I stay in the way. And where's my measuring strip here? Okay. So my number is now 47. Now we don't want any false, so my hand is up, and I'm going to release the pendulum again. Now, or the pendulum, the board is over a little further, so you're going to be more likely to observe the pendulum. Here we go again. Okay, now we're going to reposition and write a different number on the board. Okay, here we go. Okay, now reposition. And here we go. And I forgot to write a number on the board. Forgot to measure. So that number would have been 40. We'll correct for that because there's a time range in which these could be observed, and I'll specify the time ranges within which each set of distances was generated. Okay. Now, I'm going to have a little difficulty here. Okay, let's see now. Here the pendulum is just barely visible. So I'm going to move over a little further. Let's see. Still visible. So I'm going to go over just a little more. Okay, it's pretty much invisible. So basically, if the pendulum is visible now, it's going to be visible at its equilibrium position. So you're going to be able to see half of the cycle of the pendulum, and we can write a number here, which will be 38.5. Okay, so here we go. Okay, now there'll be instructions, and they'll have to be written instructions. I don't want to give those to you verbally. I might write them on the board. For analyzing the data you might get, and for just how much data to take.